than
Cap
you know,
was supposed to be. There was just supposed to be a 20-year sleep for Cap between World War II and
Right,
the
right.
1960s, and now he was sleeping for like 40, 50 years almost.
Exactly. So it's not a radical shift with Marvel. It's just a matter. It's just really. I think what grabs a lot of people's goat is the whole
Going back to number one.
going back to number one all over again, which is which is the same thing that DC did.
Yeah, it's a marketing ploy.
Yeah. But the thing, I'll give this to New 52. Since it's clean slate, at the beginning it's easier to follow.
Yeah.
It's kind of easier to follow.
Right.
But with Marvel now, it's like you're still, there's still ties to the old stuff.
Yeah.
So some people might have gotten lost.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't honestly. I mean, I love Uncanny Avengers, but you can't read it without knowing
What
Avengers.
happened to Avengers vs. X-Men? Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah,
you can't.
I agree. Yeah.
So people get pissed off, like, oh, what's this? It's really just a continuation. Why are
Yeah.
why are you starting from number one?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But,
Well, the reasoning that guys like Dan DiDio and Jim Lee and Jeff Johns gave for the New 52 reboot was that they have been under 75 years, well, back then 72 years
Right.
of continuity that was weighing them down.
Yeah.
Even though they've done reboots before with Crisis and with Zero Hour and stuff like that, they still felt that we want to entice these new comic fans who inevitably, because of the Marvel success in film, might have spilled over and checked out some of the DC characters that they
Right.
know about too, and said, here's a fresh slate, number one, jump on
Yeah.
now, see these characters in ways that you might not have seen them as before. Guys like Animal Man, John Constantine, and Swamp Thing being brought into the New 52, taken out of Vertigo and brought into
Yeah.
current DC continuity.
Right.
Um,
I mean, it's honestly, it's interesting. But for me, with New 52, I guess the only standouts for me are really Batman. For a while, it was Justice League.
Right.
But
It's kind of been bogged down with Forever Evil, right?
yeah, what annoys me about that is that the Justice League title is becoming like a supplemental issue to Forever Evil.
Yeah.
So it's really, if you read Justice League right now, it's more about the origins of like of the
Of the Crime Syndicate.
of the crime syndicate.
Which is fine with me,
Yeah, which
honestly,
is okay.
because I really like the Ultraman origin. That was awesome.
Okay.
Kal-El, that was
Yeah.
very, very cool. For me, the standout titles have been Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, which is really well written. One character that kind of lost its way after the New 52 reboot is Green Lantern. Because Jeff Johns, I think he was spreading himself way too thin, doing Justice League and all these other books, that he kind of lost touch with Green Lantern. That's why he eventually had to let go after a couple of years on the title.
Yeah.
So with the guy who came on board, Robert Venditti, I didn't like his work, so I just dropped Aquaman last month. Green Lantern last month.
Yeah.
Not happy with that one at all. Unlike Aquaman, which has been very compelling, and they've made his title important to the point that he's been having crossovers with Justice
Yeah.
League, Throne of
Yeah.
Atlantis, and there's an
Right.
upcoming one coming on board. So it's brought a new focus to some characters that a lot of people have been laughing at for some time now. But some characters that kind of lost their way.
Yeah.
I've been hearing good stuff about Flash also, under Francis Manapul and Brian Michelotto and those guys.
Right. I agree with you there. I think Jeff Johns has been doing a good job there, but like I said, I think my problem with DC is what makes it hard for me to get into DC is that it's really the constant creative changes. The teams that I keep on, the teams keep on changing.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Very fair
Superman. With Superman, it's Grant Morrison was only there for
Action Comics.
Yeah, for Action Comics, was only there for like 18 issues. But after that, they kept on switching, right?
Yeah, there
was
were some issues
Andy
there.
Diggle, then Scott Lobdell had to pinch hit for a while. Now it's Greg Pak. I
Yeah.
think it's stabilizing with Greg Pak.
Yeah,
I hear.
Aaron Kuder.
Aaron Kuder.
And I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about Aaron Kuder from my good friend Larry Arboleda.
But the other titles are just not doing well, man. It's all.
They've had a lot of cancellations.
Yeah, they had a lot. And I mean, let's point it out. Superman Unchained. My God, 9 issues.
Yeah. But that's not a cancellation. That's more of they're just stopping because Scott Snyder's doing too much everywhere.
And apparently, but the thing is, I can't help but feel with that they were trying to fit in they're doing some kind of quota. You know, DC was like, riding high in the Man of Steel movie, so they decided to do that title.
They had a lot of hype surrounding it.
Yeah, it had a lot
Same
of hype.
with Justice League of America. They had a lot of hype surrounding it.
And it's cancelled.
And they're cancelling it. They're going to reboot it as Justice League United.
Yeah.
And they're going to be based in Canada now. And that kind of ticked me off because I was on it for Jeff Johns and David Finch.
Yeah.
David Finch didn't even last.
But Finch, but Finch is at least getting some.
At least doing Forever Evil now. Yeah.
Right. But the point is that DC has to get streamlined and keep creators happy.
Yep.
You know, I keep on hearing all the talk about with Gail Simone,
with Batwoman,
with Batwoman. Yep. You know, DC has to keep their creatives happy.
Yep.
You know, I think Marvel. You know, I think for me that's a strong point of Marvel. They make sure that with the artists, they know their limits. The artists, like if an artist is only good for a couple of issues, they keep it on for that time. Like what happened with Uncanny Avengers.
Yeah.
John Cassidy was really only set for 4 issues.
But that's also my problem with that kind of mentality, dude. Because I love Uncanny Avengers as much as you do, but aside from Remender being a steady force, they change artists almost after every arc. And for me, I want consistency too. I want more than just
something like Greg Capullo.
Yeah, 27 issues.
Straight,
dude.
Yeah, pretty much
basically
with a couple
of fill-ins.
Yeah.